people, my dear friends. Welcome to our latest edition of TNT.
Boom!
I am Pastor Joe with the great Michael LaMelle the first, and we are live and on location at one of the greatest places that you could ever be in the Hampton Roads area, J&K Style Grill.
J&K Style Grill.
The proprietor, Mr. Kelvin, doing his great thing. Look, we're getting additions. Additions.
J&K Style Grill. That's what it looks like.
This might be our sponsor. Look, we said this before. When you feeling down and low, go get you a drink.
That's yellow. Look right here. I want to show you something. I'm gonna hold this one up. Pastor, you do the computer. Let's see. Okay. Hold it right here and say. I need y'all to see that. Look at that right there. This is jerk salmon egg roll. And then we're going to come on in here with some. This is called What Comes First, the chicken or the egg. And then this one got some claws. Man, what is this over here? Crab claws with some, listen. Call your mama. Tell her you ain't going to make it.
I'm trying to give the Facebook family some love.
Yeah. Eye Level Media Group. Jesse, he just said not eliminated. First. You left too soon. You was busy. But listen right there. Boom.
Chicken.
Jesse don't drink none of this or eat none of this. He drink this, but he don't eat none of this. But good things come to those who stay.
I will.
It's not biblical, though. I guess you can interpret it to be that. You stay in the word. Keep your mind stayed on him.
Huh? He that endureth until the end shall be saved.
Stay. Ooh. There's something in that. Right.
Just want to make sure that we are giving the love.
J&K Style Grill.
We got love for those who got love for us.
All right.
And even if you're
that part. Man, so today we were going to be talking about. I'm gonna partake, Reverend. You can be cute and stuff.
Oh, I mean, I was gonna partake while you was talking. So.
Oh, okay. There's a lot going on. I was thinking about training. It was a good topic because here at J&K, the proprietors, Calvin and Tanya, they actually training their daughter to be taking over the business. She's actually moving to CEO.
Love it.
She's only like 16. She know how to do every facet of the business. Cook God. Bro, they got some goodness on it. You should have one.
I'm going to.
So, if you saw the thumbnail, it was training day.
Training day.
But training life.
Exactly.
Because I think we're missing some things as the body. And Pastor and I had some backroom banter, even though we're in two different places. It's still what those of y'all been with us know. We have backroom banter that becomes a show most times. But we were talking about how some things are missing. And the body, the church body, is not currently taking a stand for much of anything. I'm trying to do a summation of our conversation, but you can jump in at any time if I'm not saying it right.
And if I start, I don't know if I'm be able to stop.
Well, please, Reverend. There's so much going on. We're talking about how Scripture says, actually, that the older women will teach the younger women. Most times we got older women just saying, "Oh, look at her with that dress too short. Look at that, blah, 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 blah."
And now, I think in today's society, the older women have no interest in training the younger women because they're trying to be just like the younger women. And
we might need security.
the idea from the word is that, you know, training is supposed to be a transgenerational thing.
But trans anything is, listen, right now.
It's a buzzword. It's a buzzword.
I said I made a post about identifying as invisible. Identify as invisible. From now, I'm going to be transparent.
But ching, 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 ching.
This is called what came first, the chicken or the egg? Wow.
My wife said she wants some, so I'm gonna take her some of these.
She can have her. I was getting. Oh, you know what? She can. You can have some, sis. Otherwise, I'd be like, you gotta get your own. And she eating for a couple of people, so
yeah, man. Got a couple on.
is she taking advantage?
I don't think she's taking advantage of it, but when she's hungry, she eats.
There's a one child in there too.
As far as we know, there's only one.
I went hiding behind, you know.
They've only heard one heartbeat.
Stranger things have happened.
Speaking to a man that has twins.
So we're gonna discuss a couple of things. I'm gonna read the scripture first.
While you're reading, I'm going to enjoy a little bit of food. Y'all pray for us. We're praying for you.
Proverbs 22:6, which is a familiar passage. It reads as thus: train up a child in the way he should go. And then there's a colon. And when he is old, comma, he will not depart from it.
So we like to tie lessons from the word into real life events. And
current events, usually.
Current events, real life events. And most of you, I am certain, are aware that just last week, the educational world, the city of Newport News, and very specifically, Richfield Elementary School was kind of rocked by the news that came forth of a 6-year-old student shooting his teacher. A lot of details have kind of come out, and the student had a leader that was his mother's gun. Fired one round. Teacher tried to protect herself. The bullet ricocheted off and hit her in the chest. She subsequently got all of her students out of the building, out of harm's way. And the young man was taken into custody for a while. I believe that he has been released to his parents at this stage. And at this stage, from what I understand, the parents have not been charged with anything. The mom hasn't been charged with anything.
Still have not.
And the shooting, from what all of the reports say, was not accidental. Brought the weapon to school, discharged it for the purpose of shooting his teacher. And as a parent, as an educator, as a pastor, as a citizen of the world, there's so many things wrong with this picture. And as much as I want to come down on the child, I think that the scripture gives us a very clear directive as to who the responsibility falls on. And the responsibility of a child and a child's actions seems to, from the scriptures, fall on the training that he receives or the lack of training that he hasn't received. And I think it's very telling and my brother can speak to this much more accurately than I can. Having fired a 9mm before as an adult male, it's not the easiest gun to handle, and I got decent sized hands.
Right.
For a 6-year-old to point, aim, and shoot sounds like to me that he's had some training. I mean, what you think?
Mm-hmm. I would say yes, that it wasn't the first time, and it wasn't the first time, and to it doesn't have to be doing it over and over and over, just 1 or 2 times to understand the mechanics of how that works. But then also every other bit of information that's being fed into his eyes, into his ears, into his mind: music, television, video games, videos. What is he taking in? And it's not that he's sitting in front of it saying, I'm going to watch this,
Right?
but what's going on in his environment? Who's watching it? Is it porn? Is it they're watching New Jack City over and over and over, which isn't for a 6-year-old to be watching that film.
Right.
Or even Heat, one of my favorite films, Heat.
Great movie.
Great cinematography, but it's not for a 6-year-old. We're adult men.
Mm-hmm.
There's some adults that can't handle those particular things.
Exactly.
And so the training is very interesting. I will say this. Everyone is talking about that the child, that the parents should be in trouble and go to jail. I don't want to contest that. But I would like to submit to the court the idea that if this was intentional, as we're all concluding, what is the rest of the story? Because this teacher is being hailed as a hero because she got the other students out. But what provoked the child? Because the same text, the scripture says, don't provoke. Provoke not to wrath.
Yeah.
This is in the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not their biological teachers as teachers. It's not his biological children. He has his children, right? 5 and a possible, it's like spades. He got them, right? There's one on the way. But he has a room full of kids. How many kids you got in your classroom?
I got about 20, 22, 24 at any given time.
Those are his children. They're under his care. They're on his watch, under his jurisdiction for the appointed time that they're not with their biological parents. When they come with him, they are yours. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely. I tell them almost every day that my goal, first and foremost, before I teach you how to add 5 + 5, is that the status that your parents send you, I need to send you back to them with the same status. If you came with 10 fingers and 10 toes, I have a responsibility to you and to them to send you back with 10 fingers and 10 toes.
Period. That's his watch.
That's my watch.
He got to do it.
7-8 hours.
Yep. And if I'm the parent sending my child to him, if it happens differently anyway, he got to see me.
That's part of good parenting. And that's part of good training.
He got to see me. Quick, fast, right? What provoked the child? There's got to be more to the story. And this is just me saying all of the energy that's outside of this. If it's negative, send it to me. What provoked the child? We have some teachers that are in the lobby, in the chat. We're with the teacher right now. And parents, if you're in here, you're a teacher. You are the first teachers of your children. This is what the text is saying, Proverbs 22:6. You're the first ones. What are you teaching? What are they seeing? I was basically a stay-at-home dad. I would have the kids during the day. And then when Erica came home, she would have the kids. We would switch off, right? And during the day, I would take them wherever I went. So my thing was, and my daughter Micah's in here right now. She know what time it is. If my children can't go, I can't go. I shouldn't be there. That's just a general thing. I had city council meetings. I was at City Hall. I was in theater, in the studio recording voiceovers. They were with me. Why? Because they were trained in a way that they can go wherever I am. And this is the time you be quiet. This is the time you can scream and yell. There's an appointed time for those things. I was doing a lot of music at the time, playing for churches. I had studios set up at the house, keyboards, recording devices, little MMT8. I was laughing about that last night with Bink. At least it's MMT8, old school. If you any music, you would know to talk about. Oh. And I had the stuff set up. When they started being born and walking and talking, you do not touch this equipment. It was very simple. Why? Because it's mine. You got a room full of toys. Don't touch it. And I was here before you. I'm not going to move it. I'm not moving it. No, don't listen, brother.
We have very similar stories. Very similar backgrounds.
Baby girl, chime in anytime that you want to chime in.
Very similar. I mean, not to make this, our personal testimonies, but my wife and I are expecting, and somebody that kind of knows me was like, well, who's going to watch the baby, because you work now and none of your kids ever been in daycare. And the simple truth is I have 5 of them, and they just haven't been in daycare because the Lord was fortunate enough in my life that I was able to essentially be there, kind of as the stay-at-home dad, if you will, or we had some semblance of grandparents that were working in conjunction and helping us to train and raise our children. Same thing, particularly when my oldest biological son was born, Joseph, in the studios, had a studio in my home, in my room.
Doing much music.
All type of things. And, again, training. You have yours, I have mine, and mine at these hours are going to be off limits to you.
That part.
Will I let you come and maybe hit a key or two if I'm there with you or whatever? Maybe so. But that's totally my decision.
Oh my God.
And that's how we're going to make it happen.
I don't understand, man. I don't understand anything
Again,
different.
Same way. I was very particular about who my son saw.
And are you moving it? You're not moving
it.
No.
No. It's going to stay where it is.
It was there before you got born, before you got here.
Exactly. This is with putting food in your pockets.
Baby girl said, no lies told.
Right. Lines didn't really cross. And again, same kind of way. I mean, I knew Mike then, but we weren't really like this. But me and him particularly went everywhere. So
she's bringing us some napkins. Thank you, sis. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And stuff that he don't even remember going and seeing Teddy Riley and them boys and stuff like that. But right there in the car, right?
And he was with him.
Right, yeah. Because just kind of, I don't know, my parents trained us. You gotta train your kids. You gotta be what you gotta raise your kids.
Listen, I heard something recently. You have to raise your kids so you can spoil your grandkids.
Oh man, I seen that. It was wonderful. If you don't,
you will spoil your kids and you'll end up having to raise your grandkids. Now figure that out.
I saw the same.
I felt like my daddy saying that. Figure that out.
So powerful because it's the same principle. The principle applies in life. If we don't start raising these kids, these kids are going to make us victims.
Yes, and substitute training for that we're in the text now. Raising.
Then we're going to be victimized by their lack of training. And I see it every day. I am on the front lines in Portsmouth Public Schools. And one of the things that I see firsthand is some of the children are dealing with trauma and issues and things that we probably could not understand a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old going through.
Right.
When they come into a school, sometimes for them, that's the safest place that they have been all week long.
Brother, you talking good.
Right. And the stimulus,
man,
is sometimes difficult to handle. And sometimes they act out. Sometimes they just want to be around you. Sometimes they just want to hug you, whatever. But the challenge that I'm having isn't necessarily with the behavior of these babies. It is your mama and your daddy and your grandmama that's raising some of y'all, because you ain't raised your kid. Right. So now you're raising your grandkid.
Yeah.
That are allowing this behavior and putting certain values up before the children as things that need to be valued.
Yeah.
You just showed me something. I don't know if we have the capability of seeing it or not, but you just showed me a post of a guy.
Oh, right. You can't see it, but yeah, I can put it in there.
Right. Puffing on a blunt with his infant child in his arms, putting the blunt to her mouth.
Brother, so she can smoke it too. Man, when I saw that jank, bro.
He gonna put the links so y'all can see it.
It's on my stories too. It's graphic. Like, it's graphic. It's not for everybody.
we gotta do. We're doing it wrong.
It's too much going on.
Right.
I want to choke the dude.
Yeah. Like jail. Go. Handle that. Enjoy it. Enjoy whatever jail has for you.
He's taking a blunt. He hits it, gives it to the baby. The baby is goo-gooing and ooh, ah. It sounds like someone's laughing in the background, giggling.
Somebody back there.
Because someone else is filming it.
Yeah, he's not filming it. He don't got his phone out.
He's doing it. Oh, man. Let me see if I can put this in here.
And
we're just doing too much, bro.
We're doing way too much. And at the same time,
not enough.
Way too
little. Right.
At the same time, way too little.
Oh.
And so when you have a situation where a child, this is the thing that gets me. And again, talking firearms. Either he brought the weapon to school loaded with at least one in the chamber, or, and this is very hard for me to believe, he cocked it himself, which is very hard for me to believe that you could do at 6, a 9mm. But either way, he didn't buy that weapon.
That part.
He didn't buy those bullets.
That part.
He didn't put the bullets into the weapon.
That part.
To me, the motivation for him to bring it, we do have to check. But we also have to check, how did this happen? Somebody was missing something on their watch.
A ball was dropped.
It had to be.
They bopped it and dribbled it and kicked it.
Right, because let's just say he would have shot and killed another child. He could have shot and killed himself. He could have killed a few people.
He could have dropped it and shot it.
And shot a bunch of people. He could have literally, if he shot a child, again, my brother could tell you better than me, that one bullet could have hit 2 or 3 children. Because their bodies are not really strong enough to withstand it. As we said, it hit that lady's hand first and then ricochet. That's what bullets do. That's what causes all the damage.
Yep.
Again, I ain't acting like an expert. He's the expert.
You got it, brother. You got it. You on it. Dead on it. And there is levels, I think, layers to this thing. Let me ask you this. How do you feel? And this is his raw reaction, because we haven't had this conversation. How do you feel about them hailing this teacher as a hero? And they're doing that because she got all the other students out after being shot.
Right. So,
because you're a teacher, I want to know that.
I'm definitely biased on the whole teacher thing. And I think that from what I heard, I feel like her actions in that moment were heroic. Because from what I've heard, she took the bullet and then was the last person to leave the
Correct.
classroom.
Yeah.
Got all the kids out first.
Yeah.
And I guess, when she went unconscious, but when she came to, her first questions were, are the babies all right? Are the kids all right? So I would say that her actions in that particular context were heroic. I'll push the envelope even more. And my wife and myself have these conversations all the time. And you were just showing me something about a teacher or an administrator doing something.
Right.
I'm kind of a little more teacher friendly in terms of, look, man, we're tired of dealing with this foolishness.
Right.
So when you get snatched up a couple of times, not saying I ain't never put my hands on this kid. I just want you to know, if I'm an advocate for teachers, the reason why some teachers put their hands on kids because the parents decide not to. And when a kid gets in your face, gets disrespectful, there is a natural tendency to protect yourself or to fight aggression with aggression. Now, as teachers, as police officers, as people who are part of the public safety, we're supposed to be able to de-escalate situations. But sometimes you feel backed into a corner, and there was kind of this ethos, I guess, from a teacher's perspective, that it's always the teacher's fault. If the kid is failing, it's the teacher's fault. If the kid don't know how to act, it's the teacher's fault. If the kid don't know how to, pass the lesson, what's the teacher doing? And there are some parents that will come to the school on some, the teacher is failing my kid. I know this because I'm a parent and a teacher, and I've been on both sides of this particular argument. So it's very difficult for me, particularly as a teacher, because I'm like, what? I can't think of anything that I could have said to a child that would make that child want to harm me in that manner. Now, I can't say that I can't think of something that I may have heard, but I can't think of anything that I could say to a 6-year-old that would make them want to do that to me, right? And I'm not saying, please God, I'm not saying that she provoked it and that she did anything, because obviously we don't know what happened. But what I'm saying is that there was something in that child that decided that this was the best thing that he wanted to do that day. This was his plan of action. This thing wasn't something that was a whim.
Right.
He planned.
Some thought was put in.
Yeah, because it happened later on in the day, right? Then it happened first thing in the morning. Like he's got the weapon with him all day.
Right.
At 6 years old.
I came upon some new information too, that he earlier had brought some bullets to school, and nobody's started to be anything. Nobody reported it. Nobody did anything about it.
I heard the same thing, and we've had some similar incidents where people have bought, bullets and knives, toy guns, and you nip that stuff in the bud.
I mean, that's part of training, though. You see what he just said? As a man, as a father, and a teacher, that's not going to be on his watch. That's less likely to be happening. Look, we here at this restaurant. The owner, Kelvin, is a whole man. He has a wife and daughter that run it. If you don't see Kelvin, stop seeing it happen. He be sitting there in the back right there or in the back. And then somebody gets in their mind that they want to, yeah, just a little bit. And then here he comes. The tenor of the thing changes. He didn't bark, he's just a presence, right? This is how we should have our classrooms. I've been in the classroom. I understand how that works. Again, less likely on my watch. And this, please, you all comment on this. I want to hear your perspective.
Yes.
I think that the children that look like me should have people in front of them that look like them. Now, I said it.
We should.
What do you all think?
I don't know how to put it. We should.
Hey, Yolanda, I see you, Yolanda Hinton.
my dear cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we should. Um,
That
and
is
like to encourage more of you that might not even be in the profession thinking about it. But we need more of us that look like us to be teaching us because we understand things about us that other people don't necessarily understand.
that part.
The educational system in America is very, very interesting. And I let me just give you an example from today. It's kind of gonna go off a little bit, but I am contracted by the state of Virginia to teach math and science. I have been admonished to do more science in my class by my administrators. I've also been commended as to how well I'm doing teaching science.
Yeah.
So today, the topic of discussion was called adaptations. And essentially, the definition that I was to give the children is a change that happens over a long period of time to help plants and animals become more suited for their environment. So we went through the lesson. I did everything. And the guy began to talk about how there were these moths, these white moths and black moths. And in a particular town in Massachusetts, the white moths kind of blended in with the trees, and it was harder for them to be found out. They were camouflaged because they were similar in color. So the black moths were getting kind of picked off and eaten. So it increased the white moth population until a couple of factories were up the street and the soot started getting on the trees. And then the black moth started blending in with the darker trees now, and it made the white moth stand out. And now in this particular area, you rarely see any white moths. And basically they were saying that's adaptation. Turn the corner and they begin to talk about how giraffes adapted to have long necks so that they could eat food from trees that was above them. I taught my lesson and I just said, you know what, I can't deal with this. I said, let me tell y'all something. I don't believe in none of this. I said, let me tell y'all something. And we spent 50 minutes talking about how I don't believe in adaptations. Because I was like, what they're trying to tell you is that somehow the white moths turned into black moths. And they didn't happen. Listen very carefully. And I don't really want to go on my soapbox too much. But I had to put a stop to it, and I had to teach it. I had to tell them what I felt, in my opinion. Training. And so when Michael and I are talking about the fact that there needs to be some of us, and not just people that look like us, but people that believe like us, people that understand who God is like us, that are giving, I'm gonna say, a polemic, a different opportunity for you to think critically about certain things that we're being sold and told are scientific. That's part of training. And obviously, you can't necessarily do it in the school system if you're a teacher like myself. But as my wife is saying, it starts at home. We have to teach our kids, and home isn't just your address. Home is the street that you live on. Home is the church that you go to. Home is the community that you're in. Home is when you see something. I know it's hard, but sometimes we got to say something, and we have to address it in a loving manner, with a Christian worldview that is very engaging. This is what TNT is about. You know what I mean? That we really want to attack and tackle the real world issues, but from a biblical worldview that influences and informs the way that we think, the way that we believe.
Yes.
And really want to encourage people to kind of do the same.
Yes.
Because the training that we're talking about, we know that specifically falls on parents. If I see a young man doing something crazy, man, you got to do a little bit better than that, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can get into that. There used to be a time we had 3 or 4, 5 neighbors in a 5-block radius who could get me and then tell my mama and daddy. And there was a time when Somebody could tell your mama and you get it, and when your daddy got home, then you got it again.
Back to back.
That was automatic.
Back to back.
That's really true. I know it's foreign to some of y'all, but there was a certain training that you didn't do this. you just didn't. You're not gonna be down there talking crazy, and Miss Lucille heard it in the next block. And you thought, oh, I'm far enough away from home, so I'm talking crazy over here. Or somebody down there said something to you like, hey, don't do that in the street.
Right.
You ain't had to be doing nothing. Is that your elder telling you? Don't do that. Figure out what they're talking about and don't do that.
That's
yes,
it.
ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, thank you. No.
There was a word in my house. You will not embarrass me.
I don't care what's going on.
Don't embarrass me.
Do y'all have that memory too? We all grew up in the same house. Don't embarrass me. Anybody? Let me see. Baby girl said, in our house, we weren't allowed to do anything that didn't make sense.
Right? That's a good one, right?
So that ended a lot of foolishness right there before it could even get started. Baby girl, thank you for sharing that. Karen Scott said it took a village to raise a production world citizen. Yes. Yep. Micah said, make intelligent decisions. Yes, wisdom is the principal thing, baby girl. Or at least present a decent argument for your side. See?
That's good.
For yourself. Yes. Yes. Because I'm going to listen to what it is you're saying. Mm-hmm. But it needs to make sense first. So you are charged with thinking about it.
Yep.
Don't just run off at the mouth. Don't just come to me. Think about it. Because I'm going to be like, what?
Absolutely. We do this in our
Turn that off. Look.
All the time. State your argument.
State.
But don't just say, because
No. And say it in less words. Like, get to the point of what you're talking about. Right. It's very simple.
Right. I'm going to give you the opportunity to state it.
Man.
State your argument. Let me hear what you have to say. Because I feel that's not an argument. Let's have a conversation.
Wisdom is the principal thing.
Exactly. Let's do it. Let's have a conversation.
Man.
Absolutely.
What happened with this young 6-year-old child that made him intentionally bring a gun and shoot this teacher? What happened before? What is the before part? This is what we want to try to, this is how we study. Remember, we talked about studying. We want to get the before. You got to go back a little bit and see what happened. I just want more of the story.
Yeah, I think that more of the story is important. I can tell you, and I won't get into very specific details, but I can tell you that there was an incident where we had a young lady that brought a knife to school when I was teaching in 2nd grade. Mm-hmm. She was absolutely the terror, if you will, of 2nd grade, period. The whole, actually, she might have been the terror of the whole school. She just happened to be in my class that year. And she had told somebody day before, whatever, that she was going to cut him. And then a few days later, showed up with a knife. Now, obviously, we confiscated it and all that kind of stuff, and went through the whole process. But here's what I came to later find out. She was 7 years old. She would have to get herself dressed to come to school because there were times in her life where her mother had been beaten up so badly by her boyfriend that her mom couldn't get out of the bed. And she was going through having to find basically a place to live because this was the home. Because if once she got beat up, mama got beat up, she was next. So she would have to go from different people. And getting to school was something that she did on her own at 7 years old.
Man.
And so when she was confronted with, oh, you're trying to harm me.
Yeah.
She went into, I got to protect myself at all times.
Period.
Now, we should in school have a zero tolerance for any child that brings a knife.
Right. I agree to that,
but
Reverend.
Here is the problem.
This is to get to that part right
here
there.
Here is the problem. she was dealing with adult high stress level things.
Adult.
And really only resorted to the thing that she needed to protect herself from the same type of aggression that she was facing at home.
Yeah.
And so my heart breaks and broke for her, because
right now with
you
that
can't
story,
you can't have students bringing knives to school for any reason. They have to get put out. They have to deal with the consequence of that. But there was a whole story behind the trauma that she was bringing. And when she would act out and do crazy things, she would terrorize people.
Mhm.
But most of us didn't know until later, oh, this is what she's dealing with. And there was a while where there were times where she just wasn't around. You know what I'm saying? And little did we know, she was just trying to figure it out at 7 years old.
Yeah.
At 7 years old, that's too much. It's too much for you to be dealing with
Correct.
right now. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times, again, this is back to that training aspect. A lot of times these children are dealing with stuff because they're being trained by what they see on TV. They're being trained by what they see in the streets. They're being trained by what their parents are even dealing with and going through. And if we don't have some way to connect and to reach them, then what's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what was she supposed to, if you think about it, we can't justify it, but what is she supposed to do? Right? Because I can almost promise you that when that adult male was putting his hands on her mama, she probably went to the kitchen and got that same weapon to defend her mom or defend herself. And so when it's in school and it's like, nah, I'm gonna get you out of school. Oh, okay, all right.
Yep.
I know how to handle this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
oh man.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of times, there's always this backstory. There's always the backstory. Your heart breaks for the children.
Man, it really does right now. Just hearing that made me be like, well, where the boyfriend at? Where the mom at?
All right, you want to go?
Let's go right now. I can't take it, bro. Like 7. I had a similar story. I was working at Madison, which is like CSEP trait back in the day, like alternative school. And there was a little girl there. She was, I think, 14. Pretty little girl, and was very quiet, just quiet, didn't want to be bothered. Off all the way over there. And when she came to us, they were saying she was that little girl, a terror. Like, and I said, well, she's sweet as pie. She looked like my baby girl. She reminded me of Micah. Like, she ain't bothering nobody. And she wanted left alone. That's what she wanted.
Right.
I can give you that.
Right.
Well, nobody's gonna bother you. And come to find out, it was the same kind of thing with some uncles and people in her house, and she's figuring it out.
Right.
She caught a charge for stabbing someone, so she had to go to this school. Impeccable grades.
Yep.
High level conversation. I'm talking about impeccable. But in a moment, on a dime, is going to do something to somebody.
Yep.
She had stabbed somebody in the neck with a pencil, and everything was a weapon. They was saying, "Oh, she can't have pens. She can." So what's she gonna do to work in crayon? Like, what do we?
Gotta do it verbally.
So I'm like, well, let's try. But then the onus is on me to take the responsibility.
Yep.
Had no problem. This was the point. I didn't have not one problem from the terrorist, so-called child that was terrorizing everybody and stabbing people.
Right.
Got multiple charges.
Right.
But I didn't look like any of the people that was in front of her prior to that.
Yeah.
And there was also no male presence that was an appropriate man love and interest in her life going to teach you something in appropriate fashion.
Yep. It's
that ain't crazy, man.
It's so significant. My dad would often say, and I would see this. You was recalling 2130 on Sunday, and a lot of times, in the area where we were, a lot of single mothers.
A lot of stories too, man. Oh man.
Right. And our church was kind of their church, even though they didn't go every Sunday. When they came because they wanted something.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, he'll be ministering to, young ladies at the altar who will be weeping and crying and dealing with things. And sometimes he just go and give them a hug. And he would say, to the congregation, a lot of you don't understand that this might be one of the few times that a man is hugging this young lady that
Talk
doesn't
good,
want
man.
anything from her
At all, but her goodness,
but just the best for her.
Yeah.
And it would break him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He knew he would be in the spirit. He would know, who needed it and
Right,
what.
right.
But I like that thing always hit me. It's like, man, sometimes, and we just had this conversation. It's like, man, sometimes the only hug that some of these kids are getting is from you.
That's real, man. 100,000% real.
Yeah. Period. I mean, they haven't hugged anybody all year. And let's just think about this. Let's say it's only this year. This year is 10 days old. But how many people have you hugged? Like, some of these kids have hugged nobody.
And the only kind words or words of affirmation come from the teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Ruth Williams say, no, his mental health and the parents' mental health. Talking about the 6-year-old.
Right.
Karen said, are we teaching our children how to think and make logical decisions like you both did in your household? Or are we just letting them fall into the foolishness of internet, video games, and social media?
We are, because it's so easy to give your child a tablet or a phone because it's going to keep them quiet and let them kind of be off into doing what they do, and you don't have to raise them. Joke with my sons all the time. I got sons that are in their early 20s. It's like, man, y'all don't even know how to talk to ladies because y'all don't have to. You don't have to have it. You don't have to look a woman and have that nervousness of, yo, can I get your number type stuff. It's like, y'all just go in, it's this. You don't even have to there's something to that. And it's like, yeah, the social media, the internet, the phone, the tablet, the electronic device will hold a child's attention, which prevents you from having to raise that child, for you having to train that child, you having to teach that child how to talk, how to stand, things, look a man in his eye, all that kind of stuff. And the problem with that is, while there are so many educational things that we can use to help our children, most of the stuff that is on the internet, on TikTok, the TikTok that we're sent, is not helping us think. It's devolving us.
Mm-hmm.
And as parents, we have to take stands on making a decision to train our kids, because the word teaches us that when they're old, they're going to train their kids. They're not going to depart from what it is that we have put in them.
Y'all don't even play outside, man. I was just talking about this. Y'all don't even play outside.
Yep.
I need you to get dirty. Skin your knee up. Get one of them strawberry janks.
Yeah, you need that.
Man. You need that.
Rub some dirt on it. Keep on playing. Let's
keep
go.
Keep going. Mud pies. Tag. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Curb ball. Foursquare. Dodgeball. Kickball. Get outside, man.
Yeah, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And go away. Like you ain't gonna be running back and forth in this house. Or you gonna stay in here. I remember when it was a punishment to be inside.
Man, yes, sir. You keep running back and forth. That means you want to be in.
Yeah.
So stay in.
Oh man, we used to go around the side of the house and drink water from the water hose to make sure that you got to go inside and do nothing.
The water hose, bro.
Good.
That was some good water too, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It ain't had all the fluoride like now.
It had a good taste to it.
See,
like that.
Trying to be safe somewhere to live, have clean clothes, eating, and hygiene is traumatizing at any age. I agree.
Yep.
Any age. These people right now staying every night in their cars in Walmart parking lot.
Yep.
Right now. Some of them have children that have to go to school in the morning.
Yep. We have some. We know about those. Got a question from the Facebook side. Just got on now. What part did the teacher play in it? Why did he want to do that to the teacher?
That's what we said. We were asking the same question.
We don't have a definitive answer, but we're trying to kind of just offer some plausible, explanations, if you will, some insight into some things that could possibly have driven a child to doing that. It's a super sad situation because we're thankful that he didn't kill that young lady, but all of the children are traumatized,
Mm-hmm.
and now have to deal with the whole PTSD
Ripple effect.
Yeah, the lady is, and the child is. He pulled the trigger, but there is something hurting, broken that didn't get fixed when he pulled it.
We need to address that.
Yeah,
that's got to be addressed.
Yeah,
the video that he was saying, I showed him another video. It was kind of unclear, like kind of blurry, but he got the idea, the context.
right.
But this child was being assaulted by a teacher, so-called,
right.
Administrator. But the backstory was that the child had ADHD. But in the administrator's eyes, it's just a bad child.
Right.
And you got to come out of this classroom and you're bad.
Yep.
But it's more to the story. This is the whole thing. It's more to the story. Let me say this because to be clear, we usually make sure that we say our definitions. Training.
I like that.
Training. The definition of training. The action of teaching a person or animal a particular skill or type of behavior.
They didn't change the definition on that one yet?
They didn't change that definition yet.
All right, good.
So let's look at teaching, because it says teaching. Teaching. Ideas or principles taught by an authority. Okay. Parents, you are teachers. Teachers, you are teachers. And we are obligated to train them in the way they should go. They may or may not take that right now. It's not for you to say. Do your job. Do your part that's yours. Train them.
Yep, I think that the concept or the idea of the way that they should go is kind of hot button.
It is.
Because there is some disagreement probably now
on the way they should
as
go.
The way that they should go.
You're talking good, man. It's a tricky slope right there.
Yeah, it gets very slippery. And we've talked about this. I'm thinking specifically of we were talking about some parents who have decided that they're not going to put a gender on their child when the child is born, and that they're going to let the child figure it out on their own. To me, whatever you feel about that, that's a lack of training.
Lack of training. Because
it's not for the child to figure it out. Because he or she is a child. They have a child's brain. They say that guys don't even have their frontal lobe developed till 25. So, I mean, you know, and then a lot of what is happening in parenting today is, well, my son or daughter feels a particular way.
Brother, that gives me the willies.
And so I'm not going to have them in a world where they're not allowed to have their feelings acknowledged and expressed. And so when we play the soccer game, you might lose 6-0, but everybody gets the same trophy because we don't want to hurt your feelings and make you feel like a loser because everybody's a winner.
You ever seen that movie with Ricky Bobby with Will Ferrell? What's the name of it?
Talladega Nights.
If you're not first, you're last.
Last. Say it all the time. Mr. Williams, I was close. Close is wrong.
This is not horseshoes, man. It's not. Close.
Close. I was close. Close is wrong. In math, close is wrong. I'm sorry. No way about it.
Right.
Close is wrong.
It either is or it isn't.
It just is what it is. I can't do it. Don't get no
problem. Which, just like we said in TNT, you can run it back. Truth is not yours. It is. I've been talking to some people earlier today that were saying that. I'm got to figure that out, man.
Yep.
I'm gonna have a truth. We have a perspective of it.
Robert Floyd says dad was working So he wasn't around as much as he liked to be, but he had the grands and all the other older ones to help watch. A big point of this.
Big point. Training still was going on.
Training was still going on. We talked about the whole village, but in our communities, and you know, we're making a clarion call. We need help.
Yeah.
we need help. We need some of, and this is what he was kind of saying about the backroom banter. I just kind of been on this rant where it's like, man, the church, man, we got to stand up. We got to step it up. We got to stop allowing the world to take everything from us. And we have to become more aggressive, more vigilant about the things, the principles that are in the word of God that belong to us, and stop letting them take everything and profane it and make it theirs. So I'm just saying, we have to really, I think, as parents, as teachers, as educators, pastors, all of us have to, you know, feel the burden of what's happening in our land, in our world, and begin to find and ask God to put us in strategic places where our voices can be heard, and the should go way it can be expressed from a very biblical, from a Jesus perspective.
Yeah.
Love y'all. Love you, Sister Tracy. Somebody get some nice hugs and kisses.
Siobhan said, that's good. I think of that. Who has hugged this child, smiled at them, or told them something good they see in them? Yeah. Karen says, in human resources, the successful students that become leaders in the workplace have wonderful soft skills to be able to look at you in the eye, understand body language, and respond without emotion.
It's deep.
Yeah. Wow. I think that one of the effective things in training, I mean, it's pretty simple. You show someone how to do something.
Yeah.
First of all, you have an idea on how to do it.
Right.
Right. Then you show the other person, the subordinate, how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You may or may not have to show them more than once. That's okay. Show them again with them watching, asking questions. And then you allow them to do it while you're there, present, walking with them through it. You may or may not, depending on the person, have to do that once, 2, 3 more times. And then you allow them to do it, still present, but not hands-on, and still watching, overseeing them doing it, supervising it, still present, and they're executing. And then you can go away and get a report back, still allowing them to do it. They have gotten it now. They've mastered it. They've gotten how to do it. You have trained them well in the thing. And they can come back and say, oh, I did this. Thank you for showing me, teaching me, training me. And now I know how to do this.
I mean, if you were doing a professional development on teaching, this is exactly what it would be, because
So
that
simple.
is that's the goal. You know, it's much more than a lecture. Obviously, you want to present the information, but then once you present it, then you want to model it. You want to do it. You want to show them.
Sounds like this walk that we walking. What you think, Reverend?
That's it. That's it. You know, that's what Jesus did for us, right? He came and showed us how to live, right?
How to do it.
And then walked with the disciples until they kind of got to a point, and then said, nah, I'm going to let y'all handle it.
Y'all got it.
And they got it. They got it. It took them a little minute.
Yep, but they got it.
But they got it. They got it.
Micah, we ready to get off here, but if you're still here, you can, you said this before. Someone asked her why she was never really in trouble like other kids.
Right.
And she said something to the effect of, never know where my dad is going to be. It's always. You ever seen Pootie Tang? That was me. I would just show up. I'm there. And I think one of one of the things that was really awesome is that look, I still never know that. That's correct.
But still in all caps too.
That's correct. Having a presence without having to be present is, I think, so imperative. So as parents, we become omnipotent and to a degree omniscient, second only to God, of course. But there needs to be an established line that all the subordinates walk, all the children, everybody under you walk that line.
Brother,
and if they believe that I'm there all the time, like baby girl just said, then you're going to be doing right.
That's right.
Because at any time, God can show up and snatch the breath out of your chest.
At any moment. Man, at any moment. Man.
It's going to keep people living right, man.
Brother, it's bringing back so many memories of the stuff that I was told as a kid.
Right.
Jesus might come back and see you doing what?
That part. She said, yes, LOL, if I got eyes in the back of my head was a person.
But see, the truth is he is everywhere. Or 1 degree of separation from somebody.
I'm gonna be there. Right? He's and they always knew that somebody knows your daddy. Yep. So listen.
Yep.
You're not going to make it look bad.
Not gonna do it.
She said, and if it wasn't you, it was someone who knew you would go back and tell you.
Yeah, right.
It's really true.
It's so true.
Even if they didn't say nothing to the child.
Mm-hmm. Say something to you. Yep.
And depending on who told me, and I would say, and you ain't say nothing? And what did you do?
Right. What? Yeah.
Because that's the
bust down.
Yeah. Well, Micah didn't present no problem. I ain't never even raised a hand to the baby girl. Ever.
Beautiful.
I would say publicly, I say it all the time. She has executed the wisdom of Solomon from day one. Ask her, why did you not get spankings? I saw my brother getting it. I didn't have to do the same thing. That's wisdom.
Right. Right.
I said a smart person can learn from their mistakes. A wise person can learn from the mistakes of others.
Yep. I told y'all we're the same person.
My
daughters aren't that old, but I've never had to put my hands on them in a disciplinary way.
They know what's up.
Yeah, now they're 12, so it's never gonna happen.
Right.
Right. So it's like, yeah, they have a record where it's like, yeah, we just don't want to be bad.
Right.
We see
it's gonna mess my record up too.
Yeah, exactly. And they take pride in their record.
Same with Michael. She cried one day I was trying to make her be late to school.
Mm-hmm.
We had something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Baby girl, it's okay. Lord, it's okay to be late for this particular. I think it was a doctor's appointment.
Right.
She's special. Siobhan says a parenting show was on last night. They had a yes day that parents couldn't say no. I said a good parent wouldn't worry about that because their child knows them and knows tomorrow is coming. That is good. That's good.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Exactly.
For
exactly.
Real? Man, go ahead.
You think you could have did a yes day with your parents?
With my parents? Yes.
You do?
Yep. And I think I could have did it with my children. And so my dad one day came home. My dad, the great ape himself, the silverback, he said, he lined us all up, got the yardstick, and was saying, okay, now I thought somebody was going to get it. He lining everybody up.
Mm-hmm.
Got the yardstick and said, I'm going to let you all get me this time.
Wow.
It's the only time you can get me.
Okay.
Something that happened and he was saying, okay, you can get me, know.
Right.
So he gave it to me, being the eldest. I looked at him. I gave
it to
you. You're not gonna trick me. I gave it to Moby. Here's where it really got awesome. Moby broke the chain. Oh no, it wasn't no more. Moby broke the chain. Siobhan said, I bet you pass. Absolutely. I look, man, go ahead. You crazy. Because tomorrow is coming. And my brother broke that chain on him. So terrible. And Tasha was just looking. She didn't get a go. Nah, bruh.
Yeah, I would
Nah.
pass. I would pass.
Yeah,
too,
I'm good.
You just
This don't even sound. This what?
Yep.
This don't make no.
Yep. Would have been the most boring yesterday of all time.
Right. Boring.
My dad says he got called to the school office. When he got there, the assistant principal said, go back to class because he was Bishop Williams' son and hadn't done whatever he was accused.
Right. That part. Now, that happened to me several times. Oh, they said you did what? Man, go on back to class. We know you. If you call your mom at work, your dad at work, they got to get off work and come to the... Bruh, they're going to do whatever it takes. I never got a conduct notice in my life. Conduct? That means you were disrupting. You had misconduct. Mm-hmm. Man, go ahead, man. None of my kids, if they ever got a referral or conduct notice, I don't know about it.
You probably don't know about none of them.
But I ain't never got that, James, bro.
Nah, no, I got in trouble in school one time, doing something real stupid. But other than that, man, my school record was pretty intact. And what I did really wasn't that bad, but I was with the team. We was acting crazy. But yeah, like conduct notice, never, man.
Never.
Man, come on.
I used to have a teacher named Mr. Fink, the science teacher, and we would go back and forth science, and I would be in chorus and all that. He liked the old school music, the 50s, and he was fascinated that this young black boy knew all the songs from the 40s and 50s, and like Duke of Earl, Duke of Earl, and I knew all the lyrics and so the way I would get past assignments and stuff or out of it would be sing a song to Mr. Fink. Mm-hmm. And he would literally stand on the desk, sing the Beach Boys song. He would be doing his thing. He was quirky and crazy. I loved it. But again, not in trouble. I did get in trouble. I think I said this one time on TNT, we're going to let you go, where I took everyone's pencil. You remember that story?
I think you said.
Yeah. Out the class. I was in 3rd grade, I think. Took everyone's pencil. I was in 1st grade, 1st or 2nd grade, to see if I could do it. It's not a good choice. I took the pencils out the teacher's desk, the pens, the ink pens. I just hung back when everybody left out to go, like the recess or whatever. Mm-hmm. I had a joint this big with rubber bands around it, brother, like pens and pencils. I wasn't stealing them.
Right.
I was gonna put them back. I wanted to see could I do it.
Right.
And then I was gonna put them back. See could I get them back without everybody really noticing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Lord, why my mama had to go in my bag? Yeah. It's not funny. She went in my bag. Why are you in my bag? Didn't say nothing to me. This is when it's good. Then said, I'm looking for the rap. Mm-hmm. There is none. My dad is in there eating. Just come from the shipyard, dirty, crusty. Still just took the boots off at the door. Mm-hmm. He funky. Only thing clean is his hands because he watched them to sit down.
Exactly. Ready to eat.
Go tell your daddy. While he eating, he got grease on his fingers. Bruh. It wasn't good. Just let me say that, Jay.
Couldn't have been good. Couldn't have been good.
I have not taken nothing, brother. Not no kind. I don't even want to look like I'm taking nothing.
Exactly. I love it. Bro, I know about that. Go tell your daddy stuff.
Oh,
I know about those days. My wife wants me to tell the story about how I got in trouble. We got to go. I mean,
yeah, we do have to go.
I'll tell you when we get home. Unless y'all want to hear it.
Yeah, I want to hear that.
I
All right,
mean,
real quick. Real quick.
So I played sports. We were playing soccer we were playing against Nansman Suffolk. And we beat them pretty bad. And so on the way back home, we just felt like, we were celebrating. So we was kind of screaming out the window, whatever. And some cars started honking the horn. So we decided that we was going to give the cars the finger. And do a little, thing. Me being the saved young man that I was, I didn't really put up this finger. I put up this one.
See how they work? Too close now. Oh.
And, did all that kind of stuff, whatever. But it was like about 6 or 7 of us. Well, the name of the school that I went to was called Norfolk Christian High School.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
And, of course, they had a phone number on the side of the bus. So we're on our way back from Suffolk and kind of yelling at these people or whatever. They're yelling back at us. And they called the school on some old, like, this Christian school team was giving us the bird, all this kind of stuff, boom, boom, boom. So, of course, we're a little rowdy. So they just basically called us in. It's like, well, you're a part of it. And it was just kind of on some old honor code. I told them, yeah, I told them exactly what I did. I ended up getting suspended because they were like, if a car's going 50, 60 miles an hour, they don't know what finger you put out. So you confess to the crime, you got to do the time type thing. So I ended up getting a couple of days.
Oh.
But see, back then, I don't know if they do it the same now. If you got OSS, it took 2 points off of your grade for every day. Woo. So it took 2 points off your final grade for every day. So one of the few times where I think I still made honor roll, but it was real like a bunch of B's, real close, not like A's and stuff, that semester or whatever, that quarter. But my parents, they took it with a grain of salt. They didn't kill me like I thought they were going to. And, it was one of those things, not my proudest moment, but we won the game. I probably scored a few goals. I did okay.
Man. And see, he said he would say he did this finger.
I would say
not this one, man.
I did these.
What's your story? You think about it and see, do you still do that thing that you got them hips got for? Do you still do that thing? I mean, you didn't get that good. You didn't get that good if you still do it.
Yeah.
Yep. Terrible.
Didn't lie though. Didn't lie.
Said it straight up.
Say, hey, I did it.
Listen, train up a child in the way he should go. When he's old, he will not depart from it.
One thing the Bible doesn't say, let's put this in there. It doesn't say that train up a child in the way that he should go. And if he leaves, he's going to come back.
It don't say that.
It don't say that. Now, that can happen.
Prodigal son.
Exactly. That's not the proverb.
And that's a parable. Another P word. It's a story for instruction and learning.
It says when he's old, he won't leave. If you do it the way he should go.
Because it's in there.
It's in there. You get him for life. It's in there.
It's in there.
It's a classic.
Yeah, man.
Run it back.
It's in there. We appreciate y'all. What y'all think about this child? Should he go to jail? I think that every young person, melanated person, old and young, in this country and culture has a degree already of PTSD. Absolutely. What do you think about that?
Absolutely.
PTSD.
Absolutely.
Pre, present, and post.
All PPP.
Yeah, we got that. That's your 3 Ps.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Traumatic stress disorder. Yeah. That's rough right there.
It's real tough. It's real tough. Yeah, I kind of agree with my wife that there should be some level of punishment for the child, but he's 6 years old. What you gonna do? But I think that the parents should have some level of accountability. And I guess time will tell. We'll see what that is.
Yeah. So I'm going back to the training part because I had guns in the house, and again, equipment we talked about. Like you had your equipment,
Mm-hmm.
and you just ain't touched that. I don't care what's going on.
Yep.
I still don't touch my daddy stuff right today.
Yep.
I don't. I get it though. I hear what y'all saying about there should be accountability.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like you said, it's about the training. Like
The training.
I mean, yeah, my kids don't bother my stuff.
Right.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know how y'all live with that. How y'all do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. They do steal my socks, but besides that,
Yeah, right.
they don't bother my stuff.
Right.
They're notorious for stealing my socks.
Good one, Reverend Joe. I gotta go. Go ahead and tell us what the missus always learned. Oh, there's a latency. Yeah. Right. All right. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Yeah, hearts.
Yep.
Hearts.
Love y'all.
Look, that food is gone.
Yeah,
demolished.
I'm about to get one more.
Yes, sir.
For the road.
We appreciate you. Listen, make sure if you are in the Tidewater area anywhere, support J&K Style Grill. We are here right now, 6557 College Park Square.
You will not be
They have Instagram. They have Facebook. JK Style Grill on Instagram. The Facebook is the same, JK Style Grill. You can pull up food battles on Instagram and YouTube. The TV show that they produce here is amazing. And they have amazing food. Jerk salmon egg rolls.
Ain't nothing like it.
What came first? The chicken or the egg? Listen, it's amazing.
I hope that we do this again.
They got chicken waffle burgers. It's a piece of chicken breast. They got like a tomato on it if you want that, lettuce. But it's got the bread is not bread. It's actually sweet waffles. And they don't give you nothing to put on it, no kind of sauce. You just smush it right. You just eat it like that right there. Listen.
You will not be disappointed.
At all. And they just started getting Sweet Bees cheesecakes. You got a piece of that cheesecake over there, good Reverend. Yeah. Listen, I'm going to show you this cheesecake. It's cheesecake from Sweet Bees. The guy's name is Carl. What's his wife's name? I forgot. He's got a wife, but I just need to know his name anyway. Carl. I got him in my phone, right? As him. This is Kelvin. Say hi to the people. Look, this is the owner right here. Right there, J&K Style Grill, right there. Listen, look at this. Which one is this, bro?
That's the butter pecan.
Butter pecan cheesecake.
From Georgia, we call it pecan.
From Georgia, he said you call it pecan. Right there, listen. So they don't have a brick and mortar store. The goodness of the Dooleys right here, them Dooleys, they said, hey, you have a good product, black-owned business. You're doing great. You have integrity. Bring that over here. And it's actually good. Bring it over here. They've been basically selling out. What you say, bro?
Yeah, we sell them out.
They sell them out. It's amazing. You can buy a slice. You can buy the whole cheesecake if you like. They're available for parties. And I want to say something very important, that Kelvin and Kiana are embarking on a new journey as well for daddy-daughter catering. Yay.
Oh, great.
Yep. Daddy-daughter catering. They're available for your parties, your birthdays, bar mitzvahs, divorce parties, wedding parties, proms, anything, any kind of party you having, funerals. You shouldn't be having a party. Maybe you should. Like, it's a celebration.
You're going to eat, though.
Right.
Yeah,
but yes, make sure you call them or go on their social media and you can find them. All right. That's right. J&K Style Grill, home of the Waffle Burger. You can imitate. How does the slogan go, bro?
Copy my style, never my respect.
You can copy their style, but never their respect. J&K Style Grill right here, 6557 College Park Square. Yeah, we here regular, so y'all, only thing missing is you. Come through. Let's see. Agreed. Being black in America is already a struggle, ain't it?
Yep.
Man.
Well, we can make it easier if we work together.
Takes a village.
Takes a village. Train it up. Train them up.
Yes. If you see something, say something. And or do something.
We got your back.
Yes, all the way. We're gonna be talking about a couple of things coming up, but it's going to be MLK Day.
Yep. Next
They
week.
put that with somebody. Who else birthday? Lincoln, I think.
Nah,
So he can't have nothing.
I don't even want to talk about what my school did. The same Christian, the same Christian school. I ain't gonna talk about it. We'll talk about it next time.
All right, next time. Clem said, "Not in Maryland."
What, pecans?
Pecans or being black in America is a struggle.
No, in Maryland, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, man. It's close to Virginia.
Yep.
Maryland. See? It's from Mary. Queen.
Mary.
It's a lot going on right there. And we
Virginia.
talked about words
The Virgin
Charlotte. All these names. We're under there, John. Oh, he said food. Okay.
Oh.
J and K. We need to get J and K in Maryland, they saying on the chat right there.
We cater out that way.
We cater everywhere. Have, place, will, travel. If you want it. Hey, I got asked, will you send some food to somewhere? Will you ship it?
Absolutely.
It will be shipped. All right? Yes. We love you guys. Amazing. We'll talk to you. And when we're back, we'll see what else we're going to eat right here.
Amen.
We're going to have a TNT here, and then we'll have a special menu. You got to purchase off the special menu and see what you want to try. How about that?
Yeah, that'd be crazy, man. Y'all got to do that. Y'all, when we do it, come through. It'll be a great day, a great time, fellowship, food, and fun.
Train them up with wisdom. Be wise, young man, young sir. Follow me on Instagram, Mike Time or Michael LaMille. Yeah, follow Pastor Joe. It's Joe, Joe, as in Delta, WMS, short for Williams. Joe WMS, and Michael LaMille, MICHAELLEMELLE on Instagram, Facebook, all the social media platforms. We are out.
Out.
All right. Y'all boom it
out.
Y'all boom it.
Boom. Love y'all. Peace.